I did part 2 of the earlier video before, and I deleted it. So we'll try this again. So Trump, he called the gentleman that was knocked down in Buffalo, New York, Antifa. And he said that this guy was trying to scan radios and turn them off and or black them out or something. It's not how that works. Why? Well, he put forward the narrative that this man has been a long-time member of the peace movement, and so that means he's Antifa, and so that means... This goes back to an earlier concern people I know have had, which is that by him calling Antifa a domestic group, now he can define anybody against Trump is Antifa. Anybody, at any time, is Antifa. That's what that is, because it's not a group with a... It's not the Klan. There's no president of Antifa. This is just people who want to avoid right-wing fascism, and they're like firefighters. They're going to jump in when they see it trying to do anything. Trump has weaponized white people. He's weaponized white men. What that means is when you saw white men running around with guns at hospitals, blocking ambulances, threatening nurses, and then going to the state house with rifles, what did Trump do? He said, liberate Michigan. He said, liberate those states. Those guys were armed and ready. Same thing in Richmond, you know. He salutes that. He salutes armed terrorism. And when he was asked about his base, he said, I can control them. He didn't say it's bad. Nobody should have that. And I remember with Obama, people got mad because there were people dressed up like the Black Panthers that went to the voting booths and stuff. They weren't walking around with guns, and they weren't attacking people. But I remember that very, very well, how people made it out that Obama had some kind of armed terrorist, no. Seemed like a million years ago, doesn't it? Trump has to radicalize the left because he radicalized the right. White men do this because if people ever really looked at it and looked at how white people do this, go armed and engage in terrorism, and black people largely don't, you'd be left with only one sum of that equation, and that is that we have domestic terrorists in this country, and that the president uses them to push his narrative. There's nothing else he can come to. There's no other solution you can come to there. But you have the narrative, white people, we're being victimized. They always got to come up with Antifa, some kind of boogeyman to rationalize and justify the way they treat us. That's what white people do. So him being involved in the peace movement for 75 years, my first thought wasn't that he's a terror. First thought was, this is a guy I like to meet. I would love to take him out for lunch or something. I'm sure he was involved in civil rights group. See, you can't be against the way blacks have been treated. You can't be you can't be saying, okay, civil rights is important, and then do what Trump has done. You can't do that. I mean, it's so clear when Trump says these things about police brutality. Someone told him to say it. He has to say that. It's so blatant that he's like, all right, look, I guess it was wrong. Maybe he should be suspended or something. Okay, that was wrong. But what about all the blacks? You see what I'm saying? That's what he does. Trump has to weaponize this. He has to say that this guy was somehow doing something to the police radios. He's a threat. He has to do that in order to legitimize his narrative, his rhetoric. So it's just like with, saying George Floyd is smiling down on us and be smiling up at us, and the other guy from Michigan is smiling. This is the same thing. It's all based upon a narrative that the white man is in danger, the white man is threatened, the white man everywhere is just, he's weak, and they're trying to attack the white man. That's the basis of this rhetoric. That's why it's so, to anybody who's not white, it's so simple to see. Like when he came out to Charlottesville and he was talking about what's next, we're gonna take down George Washington. Like, that's his response to the Confederate flag. That's his response to people that we know own slaves. That's his response to the Klan. All of that is to say, well, you can't deal with that because it's so ingrained in our country's history. I didn't really think about it then, but I realize now what that was. It's called whataboutism. It's whataboutism. That's what it is. Well, we had this too. You had that over there, but that doesn't do with the discussion. It's all deflecting. It's all whataboutism. What about this? Nothing to do with the topic at hand. And it's to be expected from Trump at this point. It's to be expected. Now, I think the gentleman's name was Martin Gugino. I think it was his name. My heart goes out to him. Hope he's well. Hope he recovers from this. I hope he, goes on to his golden years, continues his golden years without any kind of pain or problems that come back later on. Also, I spoke about this in an earlier video. I read Charlotte CMPD directives. They say in there not to shoot from the neck up, not to use the baton above the neck up. These shootings and these beatings are wrong. And that isn't some policy that they just came up with, I just pulled out of my ass. This was probably something taught during the academy. So I know you're mad because you think cops should do everything they want to get away with and do whatever they want. But their own policy says not to do these things. Plain and simple. It's not even about have a heart. No, you need to be following your police policies. And when you don't, you should be held accountable. Right? Right. Just like if I get on the train and I ain't got a pass or whatever, when I get catch, what happens? That's just a ticket. I don't get to say, well, I didn't know. No, that's a ticket. Doesn't matter if I was in a rush to get somewhere. That's a ticket. It's a citation, right? I don't get to say, well, I was rushing to do this. They don't care about that shit. They care about that money, right? Right. It's like paying your bills and everything else. You don't get to say, it's all about exigency. Even though there is no cause, there's no exigent circumstances taking place. So I just want to go back to when it comes to the Trump thing. He's gonna keep doing what he's been doing. It should be expected. He's gonna continue riling things up and pushing the narrative that white men are in danger. White men can't do anything. It's what they do. I don't feel bad for cops anymore. I mean, when I was working with Eagle, I used to go deliver gas in Indian Trail. They were actually cool over there. There'd be police in the parking lot, deputies, and they'd be standing over there. And I'd be putting their hands on their gun when they see me. I'm just like, dude, I'm in uniform, and my truck is behind me. I had one of them walk over to the truck with a cigarette. I let the gas spray right in front of him. As soon as I let the gas spray out, I'm not gonna run from a bitch, whether you're wearing a badge or not. Try me, bitch. Try me. We'll go to hell together. Try me. I'm not the one. I wasn't then. I'm not now. I am not the one. And it's no fear. It is what it is. Stay safe out there, people.